It's
there.
all right. It's not as fast as, right?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
right.
cork
Well,
just...
Long as it
Literally.
wasn't any of this
No,
stuff, I don't
Doug,
care.
can I tell you something? I'm standing over here, Michael's
No
here,
one was standing
Caroline's
beside
here,
him.
Carly, and boom, it just popped. And I
Oh,
was
really?
like,
Without
oh yeah,
anything
nobody
happening?
touched
Yeah.
it. And I was like, well, Jesus
Right.
is in the building. Things
Hallelujah.
are happening today.
We are so blessed right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you ladies are ready to go whenever you want to start.
Give me a second, because this microphone and me are just not friends ever. It just keeps on, like, dropping on me.
Yeah, I don't
It's
control
like
that.
my boobs over the years.
Mine too. All right, you
Which
ladies
is
ready?
10:49.
Give me 1 second on that one. I need a moment. Okay.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to 614Femprenuer, Columbus's #1 female entrepreneur show. I am Michael Cheney, and I am here with JKW.
Hey, Michael. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. It is Jen Kessel-White, your favorite Columbus real estate agent, real estate investor, and all-around female entrepreneur advocate. Just loving my day and super excited to say that we have something special in the building today.
Yeah, I think probably one of the coolest
I
people
said
that have
something
graced
special.
our presence. What do you
Wait
think?
a second. I said something special.
I thought you were talking about our guest.
I wasn't even talking about our guest
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I'm talking about, we're celebrating that it was your birthday yesterday. Happy
we
birthday.
Are. Thank you, Jennifer.
You know what? I will say, I'm not going to say your age because I don't know if you're digging that or not, but I appreciate the age. Like, I love my age.
Older and wiser.
Older and wiser, baby. So we have some Prosecco and balloons.
We do, and I really appreciate it.
You
You're
know
so
what?
thoughtful.
I am just your bestest of best friends. Now let's talk about our kick-ass guest.
Yes, there you go.
right with us today we have Carly Fratianne of the most amazing band Souther in Columbus and WID, and she's the lead singer of both. Hi, Carly.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So good. Thank you for joining us today. We are honored to have someone so cool here. Actually, I looked at my wardrobe today and I didn't even know what to wear because I'm like, how do you dress for someone that is just as awesome? Well, I don't know. Small fails.
Yeah, small fouls.
I don't know. I'm wearing a Prince cutoff T-shirt right now.
See?
So.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
I really tried very hard.
It's totally cool. So tell us about your band.
My band Souther is a rock and roll extravaganza. A lot of guitar solos, a lot of cool drum riffs. We're a 3-piece, so I have a bass player named Alex Randall and a drummer named Jack Lynch, and we've had a couple of guitar players in the past to do some rhythm stuff, but I think ultimately we had the most fun. It was just the 3 of us, so there's more room on stage for headbanging and dancing and stuff.
Oh,
you know?
ooh. Would you invite me on stage for a headbanging session one
Do you
day?
want to do that? Okay, so but the thing about it is you got to make sure you have like some icy hot for like before you go to bed because it is serious business.
Oh my
headbanging.
gosh.
Okay. I'm down whenever.
I'll
Okay.
pass. I don't want to throw my back
You
out.
want to stretch
We are
a
getting
lot
older.
At this
before I
age,
can
I
show
have
you
to be
some
careful.
cool stretches.
Okay, well, I want to definitely come watch this.
I
Headbanging
would
performance.
game on to do a little headbanging session any day of the week.
All right,
Okay,
we'll
cool.
get a trial run in and then we'll have you up there.
Oh, I have to try out for this position. It's like
hard
cheerleading in
work.
high school.
Yeah, it's
Didn't make
hard
that
work.
either.
It's probably not that hard.
No. Okay. All right. So then you also have WID. Tell us about that.
WYD is a little bit quieter, a little broodier. It's interesting because it sort of started as like a somber, more folk-oriented sound, and then I met my partner Maddie, who was at the time just getting into the synthesizer, and so we were messing around on a Nord keyboard for a while and had a really good time. And then we sort of started to, well, okay, so the band happened kind of by accident in this experimentation process, and so as we started incorporating some of these electronic elements, we were able to kind of do that and make it into a live show. So it's really transformed a lot as we've been doing it over the past like 2 years or so, into kind of like an electro folk sort of sound, but I don't know.
Interesting.
It's not very. It's very genre fluid, so it's kind of hard to describe. Exactly
And I love that.
what
That's
kind of
fine.
music it is.
I love that you said it kind of happened by accident. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that does kind of happen, you know, like even my business, I would say kind of started by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you fall down a rabbit hole and then you just hang out down there for a while.
Yes.
Then you pop your head up. And
Play an
it's like,
Alice.
oh,
Do you love what you do?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have always wanted to do music professionally in quotations. Like since I was a kid, I just knew that was gonna be something that I pursued.
Did you sing when you were a kid?
I did. I was not very good at it. I still am not sure how good at it I am. It's definitely been a lot of practicing and a lot of finding my voice, so to speak. But as I've grown up and been faced with the logistics of doing it successfully and effectively, I'm still just in awe of the fact that there is an audience of people in our community and apparently some other communities in the world that have really taken a liking to the work that I am producing with
That's
these
awesome.
bands.
Do you
It's
feel like
pretty
you're
cool.
growing in popularity, staying the same, or what do you think, like, as the years go by?
I think it's definitely grown. It's different than the way they paint it in the movies, you know, because there's the camp of being a singer-songwriter that's like a flash in a pan kind of success, and then there's the other camp that isn't nearly as glamorous. It's more of like the blue-collar route where you sort of just build your audience from the ground by making good work and playing shows that have, you know, other bands that you align with musically and otherwise on the bill, and making friends with everybody that you meet and trying to like
It's a lot of networking,
Just
kind
putting
of,
in
right?
the
it's a
word.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not easy. You know, you book a show and it's not just like, oh, here we go to the thing. There's like a lot that you have to
That
keep
goes
in mind.
Behind
A lot of marketing too.
Yeah, and
Who takes care of the marketing for you?
it's just me and whoever I can get to send an email here.
Yeah.
So you're pretty
Make a
much
post
wearing
there.
all the hats too, just like
like
we're used to.
any
doing.
business owner, yeah.
And what I feel like they say a lot about folks in the music industry is eventually when they make it, they'll call them like an overnight success. And I always think that's crazy because you just touched on it. Nothing's actually overnight. They actually did a whole lot of work, probably wore every hat, did all their marketing, did everything.
Yeah.
And what we see on the outside is, oh, they just made it big overnight, but really it was years and years and years of
Just
hard work.
grinding. Yeah.
So this is not your only career path or job right now,
No,
right?
it's not.
Tell us what else you do. I already know the answer, but go for it.
I work at Tonic Studios as a printer, and I make T-shirts for not only the LKW team, but lots of great companies locally and otherwise.
Yeah.
In Columbus.
Did you make that Prince t-shirt?
I didn't. I actually got this from a street vendor in Brooklyn
Okay.
2 weekends ago.
I love Tonic. They do excellent work for us, and they are the LKW home team's swag provider.
Cool.
So we dig them a
Swag
lot.
provider. That's what I'm gonna put on my business card.
I
That's
think
awesome.
that's a business card
I
statement.
like that.
Yep. We got that.
Swag provider.
So you talked about how you weren't sure if you were even that great of a singer, right? So like how do you, at some point you had to get confidence or have confidence or fake the confidence that allowed you to get on stage every day, right?
Totally.
Like I know I'm not a good singer, so I'm not about to get on a stage.
I think I'm a good singer. I know I'm not.
But like how do you still do what you're doing and maybe you were kind of questioning your ability at a time?
That's, you know what, I actually have been thinking about that a lot lately, because now it feels so much like muscle memory, and like, not to say that I'm like phoning it in ever like in a performance, but it used to really kind of stress me out, and it was almost like I just like knew that I had to do it so much that like I was able to like take that stress and just like put it in my backpack.
Yeah,
That's a really weird metaphor, but
No.
I like that.
do you know what I mean? It was like, it's like, you know, like I drink a shot of apple cider vinegar every morning, and it's not enjoyable at all. It's like the worst
Wait,
part
do
of
you
my day.
dilute it?
A little bit, yeah.
I do the apple cider vinegar with honey and lemon.
Okay, then yeah,
and it's still not enjoyable.
It's not good. It's not good. And like every morning, I know I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna not enjoy it, but I still do it. You know what I mean? And it's not to
Don't
say
you
that
feel like
I
it
don't
works
enjoy
though
it.
too? Side note.
Well, totally.
Yeah,
Like, it feels really good.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just does. And then like makes my
Tastes
breakfast
horrible.
taste better because it tastes so bad. It's just one of those things. But at the beginning, it was definitely like I knew I wanted to love doing it. And the only way to do that was to get past the part of the show where I was just like, I mean, my first show, our first show as Souther was booked about a week after Jack and Alex and I met each other. And it was at O'Shecky's in Worthington, which I think it was one of the last shows they had there before the whole place just closed down. And it was my brother's band needed a band to open for them, and I just said okay. Like, we had practiced together maybe one time. Like, they just had learned some of the songs that I was writing for the project, and I was just like, yeah, let's just get this first one out of the way. And a couple years later, my stepdad showed me some of the video that he had from that night, and I was nowhere near the microphone. Like, I was so, like, I don't even remember it. I was so, like, anxious and like stressed throughout the experience. But I got off stage and I was like, I just nipped this in the bud. You know, this is never going to be any harder than it is right now.
So like perfect, because that's exactly what we're trying to get at, is that if you just, like, this is going to suck, but it's going to be the hardest it's ever going to be the first time you do it. Yeah. Right?
Eating your frogs for breakfast.
Yes. And that's just, and it's it or your apple cider. And then you're done, right? Yeah. And then you move on.
Yeah, and it gets harder in different ways, but like that first period of discomfort, it makes way for you to have more complicated feelings of discomfort that lead you to even greater revelations about yourself.
Yeah. Growth, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you still nervous before you go on stage?
Sometimes.
What makes you nervous versus the shows that don't make you nervous?
What makes me nervous is actually, it's less the size of the crowd or the space and more whether or not I feel like the audience is going to be receptive to my particular blend of music.
Right.
So, like, if it's a huge crowd that I know is going to dig soulful rock and roll or, like, weird avant pop music, I'm totally fine. But if it's a crowd of, like, 10 people that I just, like, the band before us was, like, a metal band or something, and I just don't think they're going to vibe with it, then I get nervous because the energy that I bring when I play is almost directly influenced by the energy that I receive from the audience as they're watching.
So it's kind of like your creativity, your craft is being judged all the time.
Sorta. It's
in front of a ton of people.
Yeah, it's almost collaborative in the way that, like, the two forces of energy have to play together to make the best show.
It could only be, I mean, even as a public speaker, can you imagine just going out in front of an audience and it's a bunch of accountants and you're talking about, I don't know, some other field, and they're
something fun.
Something fun, and they're like, whoa, this chick is happy, and
wow, tennis, really?
So that's hard.
Because it's weird. I think I'm at a point now where I feel confident that the work I'm doing is objectively pretty good, but it's not like a universally applied feeling. Right. You know, there is plenty of room for me to second guess. And, you know, when you're an entrepreneur in whatever field, and when you're first starting out doing anything, and you don't have that, like, wholesale validation just being, like, mainline to you all the time, you are dubious. You're dubious of yourself at every turn. And so any moment where it's not reinforced, you're questioning whether or not you're doing what you should be doing. And as you get older, it gets even tougher because you're thinking, like, wow, man, like,
totally,
should I be, like, trying to pay the bills in a more realistic way? That, you know, they got a college down the street.
Right.
You can learn something.
You know what? So that's a good point. So how do you, do you have people in your life that have said, oh my gosh, give this up, go to school, do something real, get a real job?
Well, let's not say get a. Do you have
people that say that?
Get it? Not really. And, you know, my family has been super supportive, in the way that families can be for a long time, and I think for a while when it was first getting off the ground a little bit, they were really hesitant to like want to buy into this as like an actual viable career path.
Right.
But it's been really cool over the years to see them. You know, they're coming out to every show now, and
That's awesome.
they're really behind me, which is that almost is like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is just having
Is your growth goal to get recognized by some sort of label and move on to being more well known throughout the world, United States, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't know exactly what the right steps to take are, because nowadays music is it's so much different than it has been in the past, and there are a million ways you can grow your business and your brand, so to speak, without a label and without
Right.
Yeah.
any kind of like big company helping
Because
you
of
out.
social media,
Because
you
of
mean?
social media
Right. Sure.
and just the way that we're able to share things, and you can sell your merch online, and
Yeah.
you can book a whole tour off of DMing people on Instagram.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Like, what do you do on social media to help propel your career?
Definitely trying to post regularly. Like, I'm not really spammy with it, and it's just not my style. I know a lot of bands will like schedule posts and stuff, but I try and be really organic about the stuff that I post, because in my mind I want to maintain that kind of relationship aspect. So I want to be there, but not too much, and I don't really like to waste a lot of time just being on the platform, because it stresses me out, and I'd
Right.
rather write songs and be quiet.
Right.
So
If you do it too much, you feel like people will unfollow you, you know?
yeah, I kind of do, and I've probably unfollowed a handful of bands that I just either I don't really like their stuff as much anymore, or like I just felt annoyed by like how it's almost like less about the frequency and more about the like, well, you never asked me how I'm doing, you know what I mean? It's kind of
Right.
like
So just really like following up with your sphere, the people that are your friends.
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
I
'cause
think
it
if
is a
you spent,
relationship.
I think if you spent more time communicating with other people that appreciate you, then you would have to spend less time just being like, look at me, I'm so cool, here's my music, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, you
That's
know?
a good point, because you're talking about the relationship,
Right.
which obviously in my world is super important, yours as well. And I guess I've never thought about how that would apply to like something you're doing.
Yeah, well, because I mean, it's a weird thing. It's very meta, the concept of like I'm writing songs about myself and my feelings about the world in hopes that other people will hear them and feel seen and validated in their feelings about the world, and then want to spend money to experience these feelings in real time. I don't really know like how to quantify that in any way, but I do know that there is a really important emotional connection there that is hard to describe and pretty much essential to like being successful.
Right.
That's-
Wow.
It's,
I need a drink of Prosecco after that one.
I
Oh,
know.
man, I'll take
Let's
one with
just
you.
That was
cheers
pretty
it up
good
on
right
that
there.
one, because that was pretty deep there. Yeah, I think that you really nailed it, because I don't know if you thought about that phrase that you just said, but it's so true. Because even while I was listening to your music, I was like, yes, this song is like getting me, and I feel it. And I haven't seen you play yet, but I've wanted to so many times, and totally going to. And you make it so other people's feelings can come out while you're playing,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's huge. It's like no pressure, Carly.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Well, and you still got to get the emails. You got the emails, right? You got the emails?
Yeah, right. Now, okay, so speaking of that, you kind of take care of. Now, the reason why I think you're such a 614Femprenuer is because you take care of all aspects of your bands, both bands. And do you call them projects instead?
Well, it's
Because
funny.
I noticed you keep saying projects while I say band.
They're
Clearly
they're
so
projects
not
and
cool.
bands. No, they're totally band. I think of Souther as being a band more than WID, which is funny because I think the only reason I think that is because it's like it feels more like rock and roll band, whereas
Yes.
WYD is definitely a band. Like, we tour all the time and we work on music all the time, but in my mind it just feels like, I don't know if it's just there are more moving parts or like it's more artistically
artistic.
informed. I don't know. I've always thought of it as a project. And I think Souther being the first band makes it like my default, whereas WID kind of happened like after the fact. So I used to think of it as my side project.
Your project,
but now
yeah.
I work on them both like
Right.
pretty equally. So it's just in my head that way.
Is your job respectful while you have to travel?
So respectful. They're amazing. They will let me take off time when I need to tour, and they were kind enough to let me pop in here and do this morning, and they've helped me do merch for my band and
So
other
great.
bands.
So now you take on the role of not only the singer of a band, but you also take on the role of someone who has to take care of scheduling, traveling, fees, expenses. What does that look like for you, and how did you master that? Was it hard? Did you mess up? Are you still working on
And
it?
have you mastered it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about all that?
That stuff is tough because it didn't, like, it's not been but for the last, like, maybe year that anything has been profitable in any sense. You know, we're basically making enough money now to, like, make more art because records are expensive to make, traveling is expensive. I mean, going to play a show in New York, you're
Right.
looking at like $70 just in tolls, you know,
Right,
let
right.
alone like
Time
gas
and driving and losing money from your job.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, taking time off work, and you got to feed everybody, and
So do you pay for the expenses of feeding everybody? And
no, well, so the cool thing is, a lot of times when we'll go out on these like weekend tours, we'll be able to kind of make enough to at least cover most of the costs of the trip.
right.
And so then when we play hometown shows, we can make a little bit more money, and I kind of I pool everything into the band funds
Mm-hmm.
so that we can use that to, you know, invest in the next batch of t-shirts or
Right,
whatever we need
right.
to do. So it facilitates itself. And the touring,
But
and
still
stuff.
not like making any extra money to say like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a
Yeah,
something.
we're not quite there yet. Hopefully, we have a couple of things that we're kind of shopping around for release, and I'm hoping that we can land some placement deals or something.
Right.
That'll get us some actual cash. And
What's one of like the biggest breaks you've had that you can look back and kind of say it was a defining moment, or have you had that yet? Do you feel like you've had that?
I think some of the shows that I've been able to play have been pretty cool. Like playing at Express Live, we played the CD 1025 holiday showcase
Okay.
there.
That had
last
to be
winter.
great.
Very cool.
It was with Manchester Orchestra, which is one of my favorite bands
Beautiful.
ever when I was younger, and that was a pretty cool moment. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, that's gonna be
most
awesome.
people weren't there for the opening band, but it still felt really good to have a huge room full of people on a stage that I've always kind of looked up to.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm sure there will be more of those moments in your future. It sounds
I
like.
hope so.
Absolutely. So what is, when you started this whole experiment, I always like to ask people what their why is. What is the reason that you went into this and said, I'm going to be brave enough to go into a solo career, start my own thing, get band members, move forward, and like, what is the reason why you're doing this is?
You know, that's really funny. I don't think I've ever like actively thought that out. Like, I think I just did it because it was the thing that I was going to do. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just so inherently assumed of myself that like that was going to be the thing that I did, and every step that I've taken in that direction has just sort of been like, well, this is the next thing that we do now. Yeah, kind of like, I don't know.
Almost like it was part of you.
Almost,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it was just pure passion.
Like you feel like this is what you're made to do.
Totally.
Amazing.
Wow.
I love that.
It's
That's
weird.
great.
It's a weird life.
You know, I always like to talk about rappers because I am a fan of the hip hop. So tell me who your favorite rapper is, please.
Okay, my favorite rapper of all time is probably.
You can do
I
like
can't take the anticipation.
no, but you can do
Tell
like
me.
a favorite rapper of all time, and then you can do like a my current favorite rapper if that makes you feel a little bit better. Because I know it's so hard, right?
I'm listening
It's
to way
category.
different stuff now.
Right? Yeah.
Favorite rapper of all time, probably a toss up between Lil Wayne and I just like the whole tribe, whole a tribe.
So yeah, Lil Wayne, 2 weeks in a row of Lil Wayne.
That is 2
yeah.
weeks in a row.
Well, dude,
He's good.
he's undeniably good.
I mean, so good. Okay, current favorite rapper?
Current favorite rapper, I've been listening to a lot of Baby Mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baby
Okay,
mother.
let's remember that.
Baby Mother is amazing.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, so let's talk about what you have coming up. Tell us some shows. Tell us what you got.
Coming up for WID, we are playing the Cordial Sins EP release show on October 25th, and that is at Rumba Cafe.
Nice.
Coming up for Souther the Band, we have a show at Ace of Cups with locals Ghost Soul Trio and Nashville, Tennessee band Safari Room, and that will be October 17th.
Love that.
Yes.
Now, what's your other favorite local band to support?
Ooh,
that's a good
okay.
one.
Oh, that's really
Oh,
hard.
someone's going to be
That's
mad at you
really
for
hard.
not saying
Uh-oh.
that their name. I'm so sorry.
No, there's just
Carly, I
actually
didn't mean to do this
so
to you.
much good music here in Columbus. Obviously, the Cordial Sins are great. Love them. Good friends. Good buds. Parker Lewis is one of my very favorite bands, like not just of Columbus, but all time. Shout out to Parker Lewis and friends for being the most soulful, jazzy, groovy band in Columbus. I like.
How important is it for you and other bands to like support each other?
Oh, so important.
Yeah.
The scene survives by like all of us giving it love and
Yes, sticking
coming out to
together.
see shows
Yeah.
and sharing your stuff on social media. It's a pretty cool group.
Very nice.
If you could give advice to any other female that wants to start a project, a band, a business, and they just are scared to, what would you do? What would you say?
I would first of all I would say just do it. Just do it. Like 100% just do it. Figure out a way that you can take one step that doesn't totally scare the crap out of you and then take another step in that direction. I would say there are definitely going to be a lot of dubious voices in the world, especially when you're a woman in the art world, because men just love to step on you.
Oh.
And you said you couldn't sing.
I
I love the fact that you use the word dubious twice in the show.
Dubious.
Double
Your
dubious.
vocabulary is making me a little bit jealous
I
because
know,
it's really
jeez.
good. Every time you speak, I'm like, wow, I feel like I just have to glue in and listen.
Last but not least, tell us how someone can follow you on social if they want to check you out.
Socials, Souther would be at Souther Band, and WID is at WID.WTF.
Ooh,
Nice.
WTF.
Yeah.
Wait, what does WID stand for?
Whatever you desire.
Ooh, get it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so I just wanted to also take a second to invite everybody out to a first-time homebuyer seminar that LKW Home Team is having, and that's on September 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., where we're going to have brunch and mimosas and talk everything homebuyer. We're going to have a home inspector there to give you all the deets on everything you need to know regarding what's important and not so important in your home inspection. We're also going to talk a little bit about what to expect during your first-time home buyer, and we're going to have a lender there to pre-approve you on the spot. So yeah, just how about we go get you a home?
Yeah,
Sounds
and
pretty.
your events are the most fun. So.
They're the most fun. We party at the LKW Home Team events. Like we want to make sure you have a good time.
That's right.
All while being very responsible.
That's right.
Michael,
Yes, I just want to mention today's show is brought to you by No Drip Painting and the LKW home team.
Oh my gosh, what nice people.
They are. They're awesome.
Carly, thank you so much
Yes,
for being
thank
with
you.
us. Like,
Thank you
you
both.
are the best, and I hope you most success, and I can't wait to come see you next month.
I can't wait to see you headbanging on our.
Ah,
on
I'm
our
headbanging.
Yeah.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
So much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.